Hey, and welcome back to Alex Talking. What better place to rank the Predator franchise than in the jungle and nature myself? So, I've been out here all day, and in the back of my head, I've been thinking about Predator Badlands because I really enjoyed it, which would mean it's the first Predator movie I've enjoyed since the original. And the original has been one of my favorite movies since I was like 10 years old, but I've always had a really contentious relationship with this franchise because uh, finally, whenever I went to watch Predator 2, I distinctly remember my grandfather was living with us at the time, and he came in and was like, "Can we watch the Pirates baseball game?" Like a half hour into it, I was like, "Yeah, this kind of sucks." So we put that on. They were losing. He fell asleep. I put Predator 2 back on, and like, mind you, I was like very young, 10, 11, and I just could not get through it. I went for a walk, I went for a bike ride, I watched baseball, finally got through the whole thing, and I was like, yeah, that just sucked. I was so disappointed. So then, I went to watch Predators finally, and I thought it was fine, and AVPs were honestly fine. But never really liked any of the sequels until finally the Predator came out, and I was old enough, consciously ready to go see it in the theater, and that was disappointing. And then I've always been disappointed by these movies. So I'm really excited about this franchise for the first time. And all that being said, let's get right into it and rank it. Number nine, I just gave all that context to how much Predator 2 is one of my least favorite movies, and was for the longest time, I always would say, my least favorite movie. And it's not even the worst Predator movie anymore, because Predator Killer of Killers came out on Hulu earlier this year. And I rank movies based on how much I'd want to rewatch them. This is a shitty Predator anime. I would not rewatch this over any other one. It wastes the premise for Predator vs. Samurai, Predator vs. Fighter Pilot, wastes all that with just being a boring anime, and not for me. Coming in at 8, Predator 2. Yeah, I think that this is a complete waste of the premise of Predator in the jungle, Predator in the concrete jungle. I think that would be a really cool idea, but it doesn't go for it in the way that I would have hoped, and it disappointed me immensely. Uh, Coming in at number 3, or no, the third one, number 7, Prey. Prey's mid. It's fine. I've seen this movie twice now. Um, First time I thought it was mid, and then everyone told me I was crazy. I watched the Comanche dub, so I was like, well, fine, I'll go back and watch the English dub. I didn't really care for that one either. It's just Amber Midthunder. I've seen her in like Novocaine and Opus. I think she's a very, very bad actress. I hate to say that. Don't want to prey on anyone's downfall. Good for her for getting in these movies, but she does ruin them for me. She's just not a good actress. And I can't really say that I think the Predator in this one looks all that cool. So I don't get invested in either side of the fight. It's just whatever. The trapper sequence was cool. The fur trappers he kills, that was a great sequence. But otherwise, mid movie. Coming in at number 6, AVP, Alien vs. Predator. I wish this was rated R. Turns out that the new Predator movie being PG-13 isn't the kiss of death we once thought it was, but this one has humans in it. Now, the new one has like aliens and synthetics getting killed, so you don't get as bothered by it. This one has humans. You gotta see blood whenever aliens and predators kill them. I realize in my older age, the Alien franchise is way better than the Predator franchise. I guess because when I was a kid, I only ever watched Alien. I watched through all the Predators whenever I was like a 10, 11, 12-year-old. But whenever I was that young, I had a DVD of Alien, and I watched it a ton. But I never watched the sequels until I got a DVD of all of them when I was older, like 13, 14. So I only ever knew it was the first Alien and all the Predators. So I always preferred Predator in AVP movies. But now I'd probably go with the Xenomorph because I do prefer those movies. Predators are the cooler Alien, though. Boy, what a great matchup. I hope they do another one of those soon. But back to Alien vs. Predator. I'm just going to go right to 5, which is AVP Requiem. It's not getting all the way up the list, but it is higher than most people put it, I know. And it's just the simple fact that this is a mean-spirited R-rated version of this, and it takes place in like a Colorado mountain town. These are all vibes and aesthetics that I like and that I prefer in my movies. So whenever a kid is throwing baseball with his dad and they get torn to shreds by a xenomorph at the beginning, or when a xenomorph goes into a baby room, is that the right word? A nursery? where there's a bunch of babies sleeping, and it's implied he's gonna eat them all. That's much more interesting and cool to me than whatever is going on with like guys being stuck to the walls with fluid and AVP. Once again, AVP's fine. I'd give that movie like 2.5, 3 stars. Way better than what was below it. The bottom ones are movies I don't like. Both AVPs, completely fine. I prefer Requiem. But now we're at the top 4, and we have a new like Mount Rushmore of Predator movies. I like when a franchise has 4 movies I can say are okay, because now I can go from completely being down on this franchise to like, bottom 3 are bad, both AVPs are okay, and the top 4 are all solid. Because number 4 is Predators, which isn't a movie I hate, it's just a movie I'll never be inclined to rewatch, and a movie that isn't very memorable. I wish Robert Rodriguez directed this instead of producing it. I know it would have been way more memorable, way sleeker, way more visually interesting, which is not bad. It has some great kills. Topher Grace gets stabbed like here and left as a trap for somebody to like explode the Predator whenever they turn him over and like pull all the pins in his chest. That was great. But otherwise, outside of Adrian Brody doing his Batman voice and Walton Goggins and all that stuff, it's just an okay Predator movie. Kind of a mediocre rehash of the original, but with some very cool moments. Very cool moments. Not a bad movie by any means. Coming in at number 3, The Predator. This might be the hot take of the video, I know. It's just unabashedly an R-rated, gory, inappropriate good time. Has crass Shane Black jokes. Not all of them land at all. It's by far his worst movie, but it's still a Shane Black movie, and I prefer that than a mediocre or shitty Dan Trachtenberg movie, or mediocre and shitty Predator 2. So that's why it's this high. Once again, not a very good franchise. This isn't a movie I would even say is good by any means, and it's not even as mediocre as Predators. I guess I acknowledge the so bad it's good aspect of this movie. This is an awful movie that I have a lot of fun with because of the gore, because of the gratuitousness, and because of the visuals. The visuals are also very strong here. The third act is terrible. I would say turn this off whenever the big Predator comes and kills the smaller one. It is complete, utter dog shit after that, but the first half, dumb enough Shane Black Halloween Predator movie fun. Number 2, Predator Badlands. Look at that. They made a good Predator movie. I would give this movie a solid 3 out of 5 and do so with a smile on my face, which I did yesterday. I thought this was gonna suck, to be honest. I thought, wow, PG-13 Disney Predator movie after they did their shitty Hulu relaunch? No thank you. Quirky side characters and Baby Yoda friends for my Predator? No thank you. Tying it into the Weyland-Yutani so that it has alien references in the most generic and disingenuous way? No thank you. But it worked. It worked on me. This is not at all what I liked about the original Predator. I still think Trachtenberg has no understanding of what we like about the original Predator, but I think he has a complete understanding of what people like about the deep down, nitty gritty, nerdy Predator lore, what people like about the NECA action figure stories that you see on the back of the box, or the comic books they make about Predators. I think he understands that people like that stuff. I think he actually understands the Predator aspects of like honor and the way that they call the weaklings and stuff like that, much more than, you know, the aesthetics of why John McTiernan's original actually is a classic. Which may sound like an insult, but it's a backhanded compliment to say I was able to finally put aside all the stuff, because I was like, he's still going to have a bunch of cheesy dialogue. He didn't even write this one necessarily, the screenplay, but the dialogue is still so cheesy, so on the nose, so like anime character cringy. But it worked for me because they're speaking in Predator language, and it's like, I guess that's how the Predators talk. I don't know. I know it's so silly and dumb, and I really couldn't stand all of the Elle Fanning humor. I didn't think that any of that was quite funny, really. But it's a fine blockbuster. It's like the Kong Skull Island of Predator movies. And you know how long I've been waiting to say that? That one of these is just good enough that whenever it's on Hulu or Disney Plus, I'll actually be inclined to put it on and enjoy the action of it. It has solid action, a little visually flat, but it has solid action. I really did have to say I enjoy this movie. I might even go see it a second time in theaters. But number 1, of course, is Predator. Classic. the Arnie movie that isn't an Arnie movie, if that makes any sense. This movie survives and exists completely fine on its own. It's just amplified by the fact that that's Arnie is Dutch. Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body Ventura. The whole cast is great. Great kills. Get to the choppa, belly, all that stuff. I mean, the third act fight whenever Arnie paints himself and fights the Predator, it's all a genius. It's all awesome. How could it not be number one? So yeah, I really enjoyed Badlands. I can't wait to see where they go from here. They're probably even going to make a damn Alien vs. Predator movie here soon, so let's hope. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Give me your ranking down below, and thank you for watching. God bless. Have a great day, and get outside.